I know there's a lot of folks in attendance this evening, and staff wanted to acknowledge that attendance in relation to Opportunity Site 3. This site specifically is one of the larger vacant sites in the town center, which is why it was looked at as a potential for housing as well as other forms of development.
Yeah, and I'm ready to hear from public.
We have close to 60 cards. So you have a minute.
I'm very disturbed to learn that the city is including the church's parcel that has been zoned for a school on its affordable housing element, despite numerous requests by both the parish and archdiocese to remove this parcel from their plan.
I would like to see Our Lady of the Pillar land removed from the housing element.
We ask you that you remove that property from the plan. And, you know, that building right over there, that we call that the new hall, we have the school in there right now. I heard the city is trying to prevent us from having a school in that new hall. And then they want to take away the land where we're going to build a school. So we can't teach the kids in that school, and we can't have the land over there to teach them. It sounds like you don't want us to educate our Catholic kids. Religious freedom.
I don't want to cut the meeting short. Please hold on to your applause. Very simple. Adults in here, follow directions. If you're educated, follow directions. Thank you.
Since the beginning of the parish, we have been dedicated to being of service to all those in need. We are not all opposed to low-income housing. What we do oppose is the attempt to take private church property where there are many other land options available in Half Moon Bay to build low-income housing.
I'm still having a few that don't know how to follow directions. Raise your hands. That's an idea. Put your hands up. I'll see who you are. That means you agree and you appreciate the comment. Let's teach our youngsters how to follow directions.
Our Lady of the Pillar Church is a place of nourishment for the soul, the body, and the mind. Our activities are centered on growing in faith, assisting the poor, and educating young minds.
Opportunity Site number 3, Our Lady of the Pillar Church, be removed, withdrawn from the list. This is sacred ground. Thank you.
Can I ask you a personal question?
If I can ask you one too.
Let's do, well, if you're not up for it, then forget it then.
No, you could ask. Go ahead.
What is your annual income?
No.
You don't have to answer it.
No. I can tell you.
You don't have to answer it. Just say no. Just don't answer it.
I don't.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Paragraph 2 states, City-State has met with the owner of the property who at the city held this meeting and with whom did this meeting take place.
Father Jose, can you please conclude your statement?
Please be advised that Father Jose Corral, the pastor of Our Lady of the Pillar, has my full support for this parish project that will develop parish property for use by Our Lady of the Pillar Academy. Sincerely yours, Most Reverend Salvatore J. Cordileone, Archbishop of San Francisco.
This is a site that we're talking about tonight, is the home for my kids' future school. This includes a school, a planned preschool.
And we get to learn all the states and capitals. We get to read parts of the Odyssey and learn about how Odysseus had to spend a decade at sea. And we also learned all the multiplication tables. I enjoyed reading the Constitution, and I got to recite Winston Churchill's speech, Their Finest Hour, from memory at graduation. The people at Our Lady of the Pillar are really nice, and I think every morning we get to go to church and say hello to God and to thank Him and for blessing us with this world and this school. I love this school, so please don't take its land.
As a parishioner, I've noticed the benefits this school has already made on our parish. The Catholic community here is growing tremendously. In such a short time, this school has actually doubled in attendance for the upcoming school year. Just imagine how much it'll grow in 2, 5, or even 10 years. It's such a blessing.
Please don't take away the land of our school. We do not want our school gone. Children need the school.
It sounds like it's in your power to remove this element from the housing idea. Why are we all discussing this? Just the owners of the property don't want to sell it. We don't want to lease it. We don't want parking to go on it. Right before you is the fruits of at least 30 years of planning to put a school.
I would like to also have this request removed from your building of the affordable housing.
Recordarles, ¿verdad? También que hay muchísimos lugares
I want to remind you that there's many other places.
donde puede.
Yes, affordable housing for low-income individuals / family members is very necessary, but our parish property already has its vision.
As stated previously, Our Lady of the Pillar Church uses the property for a variety of activities.
We've been wanting to have a school here, so I just ask that you remove the element number 3.
I want you to remove from your plans in order to construct on that piece of property.
Por favor, eliminen la propiedad de nuestra iglesia de su plan de elemento de vivienda.
So please remove the property here in the church from your housing element.
Especialmente a todos los de nuestra parroquia que de idioma español. My whole life has been in Catholic education. We do so much for the poor. We do it very well. We don't do it because any other reason than we simply love this town.
And I'm against the addition of the OLP for housing.
Does this city never learn? If you make a move on this land, federal law is going to apply. The Religious Liberties and Institutionalized Persons Act, or RLUIPA. The city has made its intentions clear earlier, and there are offline comments that have been made by city officials that have been memorialized. You're in this up to your hips right now. And it risks flying in the face of federal law. Omit the church site from the housing element. It isn't your opportunity at all.
I ask you to remove the church property from the housing element plan.
I'd also like to point out that continued attempts to use the church's land for purposes it clearly does not approve of will only delay progress towards building much-needed affordable housing in Half Moon Bay.
3 years ago, if anybody was wondering how long this has been going on, 3 years ago, we were pressured at Our Lady of the Pillar to put homeless tents on this lot just 20 feet away from children in the evening going to confirmation classes. That happened 3 years ago. We sent a letter, we said no. Then we're pressured a year and a half ago to put in Mercy Housing in trailers. We said no. This has been going on a long time. And then shortly after, a year and a half ago, April 2023, just after the shooting, first there's a candlelight vigil where we're publicly, member from our city council stands up and offends people from Our Lady of the Pillar, saying how this should go to housing. Where's the church? Why are they not building you housing? I quote, social media quotes, things like, the people in the Catholic Church want to control us. They've been playing with us. We've been talking about low-income housing, and the community and the Catholic Church is against us giving their land. They will run us. It goes on and on and on. The bullying has to stop. We have 12 students in a building that holds 396 people in a parish hall, 6 classrooms. We have been told officially in a letter dated January 31st.
Please conclude your statement.
Yes, I will. That in this building, that the classroom, we are going to change a density and intensity of use when we hit in a building that holds 400, not 300 students, not 200 students, not 100 students, but 14 students will change density in the church hall that we are now running our school in. Does that make sense when what's going on all around us and you're proposing 70
Please conclude
units?
your statement.
It goes on and on. The bullying's got to stop. I would like to ask you guys, please join us in championing goodness, truth, beauty, and joy in this community. their spiritual needs. Please, please join with us to help this community be strong together and respect zoning. It's there
Please
for a
conclude
reason.
your statement.
You guys know the zoning's there for a reason, of all people. Thank you.
I was disturbed by the mayor's antagonistic questioning of a young man who merely read a letter from a representative of the Archdiocese of San Francisco in a recent public hearing. This was disheartening to witness, but it exposed a disturbing undercurrent of animosity towards the church. Others noticed this and were disturbed as well. Given this, placing the church's property on the opportunity site list would unfortunately place the church under a strong veil of threat. I feel the mayor should recuse himself from all matters related to the church. I'm concerned.
Please take your time.
I'm concerned his animosity towards the church could be a liability to the city and could result in unnecessary litigation against the city. And tonight's meeting, your question to that man, I've never seen a mayor act like that at a public meeting. I've taken minutes at meetings. I've been to meetings that lasted 5 hours and were continued to another night so the public could speak. Shame on Half Moon Bay.
Thank you. It seems like we haven't learned yet. Thank you.
I have here 650 signatures from the community supporting the pastor's wish to be removed from the housing element. And I got the letter from the Archbishop today showing his full support. Also today, I submitted plans to the City Planning Department for building construction of a brand new state-of-the-art Catholic classical pre-K school and for the benefit of our children. And it is clearly the wish of our cherished 150-year-old Half Moon Bay Parish, your neighbor and constituents, to be left out of the housing element. And if you were to keep the church property against the diocese, pastor, and congregation's wishes, it would not only be deceptive to the state, it is disconcerting to us, your neighbors. We implore you to remove it.
My husband and I are thrilled about the founding of Our Lady of the Pillar Academy, and it is one of the reasons that we plan to stay here in Half Moon Bay.
To please remove our church property from the housing element plan for children who can actually read the Constitution at this age and pray. I think that's just as important as well. And
I just would like to say that please remove the project of rebuilding. We would like it to be a school for the kids. I think they deserve the education they need.
And now you want to unjustifiably put limitations on our school's future site?
A lot of the farm workers and the retired farm workers that you're talking about building housing for, their children go to our church. Their children would like to go to our school.
And at my level of income as a Catholic school teacher, I empathize with those trying to find affordable housing in the area. I believe in the mission.
Please remove our church property from your housing element plan. Why are you doing this to our church? To me, as a righteous, faithful Catholic Christian, that is robbery.
I got baptized in that parish. I got confirmed in that parish, and I took First Communion in that parish. I go there every Sunday, and this Saturday I just got married to Mrs. Islander right there. And I'd like to send my kids, God willing, there someday to a school right there. So please remove the land from the housing element.
During the memorial for the farm workers a year or so ago, my wife and I were singing in the choir. A few nights before, we were singing at the prayer vigil. A day or so before, we were singing at the greenhouses. We care about farm workers. We care about this amazing historic community built 170 years ago around a church where the rose window from the 1850s is just a block and a half from here. We care about trust in the community. And what disappoints me is the process here is so untrusting. Trust comes from listening to what people object to, recognizing the texture of their physical reality, looking them in the eye, not offering legalisms that the state has put you under the gun and you've got a week to make your numbers. That's not a reason to take away something which the church saw 150 years ago and has been building around for generations. You guys can do better than that.
There are future plans to build a school on the available church property in which I hope to enroll my own children in the future. With that, I kindly ask you to remove the church property from your housing development plan.
And I pray one day that I have children that are able to attend the school. So please remove our church property from your housing development. Thank you.
Education has a significant impact on the formation of the next generation, which affects the culture of Half Moon Bay down the road. Please remove our church land from the housing element before approving it. Thank you.
I'm the grandmother of 4 children, 2 who are currently enrolled in Our Lady of the Pillar Academy and 2 future students.
This school is the result of years and years of answered prayer for a faith-based school on the coast side. That is the site where my children play and have recess and PE and outdoor education, and it is the future site for my children's education.
And we appreciate the community that has built along with this school. We actually ourselves are not parishioners at Our Lady of the Pillar, but the community there is very welcoming of folks, even those who are not Catholics, and that is very important to us. The school has provided a lot of comfort as far as the educational environment that we can present to our children. So I really encourage you not to mislead the state by saying that this is a property that's somehow available for low-income housing or any development. Let's be forthcoming in the plans that we submit to the state and not include this. Thank you.
I love my school because we go on field trips every Friday and we could play basketball and soccer, and my favorite part is playing in the big field right next to our school.
I've been homeschooling my 7 kids for 16 years, just waiting for a faith-based school here on the coast side. I not only trust very much in the academics, classical curriculum, and root beliefs of OLPA, I trust in the people who are building it, in their mission, energy, and zeal for this city. The school was long overdue, but it is happening. Please reject the housing element's interest in the church's property because it is meant to be the future site of a very impactful school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last year, my academic test scores in math and reading jumped over 2 grade levels in 1 year there. My learning was twice as much as the average kid my age. I also like my school a lot because I have very good friends. Nobody bullies anybody. Everyone plays with everyone. I like that they teach us about God and nature, and that the school helps me be excited about learning.
My name is Julian Kulda, and I am speaking on behalf of Rick Giorgetti by reading a letter that he wrote. The site remains under the direction of the San Francisco Diocese, and realistically, keeping it on the list, in my mind, is useless. Seems more politically driven than pragmatic. Why encourage the wrath of a large number of citizens for that reason?
I would request that you remove the property that belongs to the church and should be for the community. Please remove it from your list on the housing element. Thank you so much.
I was gifted with the opportunity to work at Our Lady of the Pillar Academy as a teacher's assistant for the younger kids and also as yard duty. Witnessing these kids grow in their faith, quality education, and relationships at the school has been a gift. These are some of the happiest, smartest, and brightest kids I've ever seen. On top of their classical education at Our Lady of the Pillar Academy, they learn to dance, sing, publicly speak, and many more interesting things like that. This place is a haven where their innocence will be preserved and where they could grow into members of our community that will uphold the faith.
I do not want our city designating our land for housing. The church intends to use our land for Catholic education. This is important because children need to grow up with a solid education, and this is going to happen on the church's property. Please remove our church land from the housing element. Thank you.
Please remove the property at Our Lady of the Pillar from your housing plans, our dream and the dream of these children present here is to have a Catholic school at this site at the church.
Hi, my name is Annalise. I love my school, and I am very sad that you are planning on putting a low-income housing there. So that we cannot expand our school to the fullest potential. The next generation of kids needs the space, and the field is a great place to play. Thank you.
I am a parishioner at Our Lady of the Pillar and a student at Our Lady of the Pillar Academy. I love my school because every day I get to go to Mass and pray with my classmates, and because we have teachers who care about us and our future. Please help us to build our school on our land and not houses. Thank you.
Coast, Our Lady of the Pillar. 1 year ago, we did this, and I've been begging for a...
They read an email saying they wanted to be removed from the map. Everybody still voted yes to put it onto the map at the Planning Commission meeting. Let's see. Pressure from the state. Lots of cities are fighting back. Are you reaching out? Are you, on this high density stuff? Because Solano County had a big win recently, so I suggest we start banding with other cities. We are not built for high density, and I feel that church is a valuable asset.
I want to show my support for the church. I'm not a member. Please do the right thing. Listen to your town. Listen to what we have to say and how we feel. There's a lot of people here that don't want this put on that list.
I actually was getting ready for bed, but I felt that I needed to come here and speak, which I am absolutely thrilled that this school is being built. When I moved here, I always wondered why there was no Catholic school. Please retain this property for the school. I am just thrilled, and so please do that. I mean, do the right thing.
Taking over the Catholic Church's parking lot is not a good look, and I'm opposed to that, and I think you should take that off your list.
If a private property owner has said several times over several years that they do not want to give up their property, and the city claims they have no intention of taking it by force, then why is it on the list? It just creates the suspicions and the distrust of which you are hearing so much tonight.
I believe we're all aware of the concept of the camel's nose in the tent. I think what you're doing here is putting the camel into the tent, and this is not good faith.
I think we should take out the church property from the list of opportunity sites. And if you don't want your property in it, it should just come out. I just don't see the point of exacerbating what are already tensions in the community. And certainly, property has a way of really blowing things up, the conflicts over property. And we don't need that. So I just don't see any reason to keep it in. Take it out.
The council's highest priority has been affordable housing. I would go ahead and urge that we approve the existing second draft now and get it to HCD for their consideration.
Right now, we need close to 1,000 new homes for the community that we have in Half Moon Bay right now. Some of you have no idea. So what we're proposing, sites around Half Moon Bay with the possibility that we could build. We have no plans. We don't even own that property. We're just talking about different sites around Half Moon Bay. That's about it. I actually recommend to keep lot number 3, or spot number 3, in the housing element for the city of Half Moon Bay to be looked at by HCD.
I move that we acknowledge receipt of recommendations from the Planning Commission, including in the staff report, and direct staff to include any recommended revisions made by the City Council. I don't think there were any significant ones tonight. And direct staff by resolution to submit the 2023 to 2031 housing element second HCD draft, July 30th, 2024, second draft, to the California Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD.
Second.
Councilmember Brownstone?
Yes.
Councilmember Reddick?
Staff has let me know that they hear what I'm saying, so that's good. So I'm going to say yes.
Vice Mayor Rohrbach?
Yes.
Mayor Jimenez?
Yes.
Motion carries.
So this is for tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.